Hey, hi everyone. A very good evening. I hope I am audible to you all. If I am, please give me a yes in the chat, everyone. If I am audible to you all. Okay. I can't see any response. Okay. I am audible, right? So, hi, this is Nidhi from LetsUpgrade. So, can you all just introduce me yourself, like from where you are joining, what you are doing, and are you a fresher or you are working somewhere? Just a small introduction of yours. Yeah. Hi everyone. Hi Kavita, Sham. So there are some familiar names. Yeah, Rajesh, Anirudh. Hi everyone. So yes, just tell me that where are you from and whether you are a student or you're working somewhere. Okay. Okay, so we have mostly people who are students and okay, and we have people from different places in India. Great to hear that. So, why I'm here today? So I'm not your trainer. I'm just here to tell you how you will be able to get your certificate after attending all the 3 days of your JavaScript. Okay. So there are some steps to follow. So for that, let me share me my screen. Okay, I hope you all can see my screen. Yes, so what you all have to do, you just have to go to letsupgrade.in. You have to sign in your account and okay, just and then go to community. So whoever has registered for this program, they would have been added to a community group. Okay, so if this is the JavaScript community group, and here you can see all the rules and regulations which you have to follow. Okay, so the very first thing is, if you have not yet registered or you're directly coming to YouTube, make sure you are going to register for this program. Okay, so Mod, can you please share the registration link as well in the chat? So the very first step is you have to register for the program. Then you have to attend all the 3 days, okay, and put your attendance for all the 3 days. So every day attendance will be updated. It will be shared in the description of that day YouTube link, and also it will be shared in the chat. Okay. So make sure you are marking your attendance. Mark your attendance from the uh, email ID which you have registered on Let's Upgrade. So make sure that you are putting the correct email ID. Okay, so after you have attended all the 3 days, you will be eligible for a small exam, and if you pass the exam, you will be eligible for getting your certificate. Okay, so and you can download your certificate by using 200 LU coins. Now, how you will be able to get LU coins? Okay, so how to earn these LU coins? So you don't have to do much. You just have to follow some simple steps, which is you have to refer this program to your friends, and also register for as many as essentials you can. So by getting yourself registered for so many programs and by referring the programs to your friends, you will be able to get the registration link or LU coins, and you can use those LU coins to download your certificate. Okay, so this is the three steps which you have to follow to get your certificate in your profile. So any other question if you have, just please let me know. Anything related to your certificate or attendance, anything you can ask. Love automation. How we have pay? You don't have to pay anything. Anything, at least for this program, you don't have to pay anything. It's totally free. So anything else, guys? Anything else you want to ask? Just let me know in the chat, or else we can start the session. How to mark your attendance? Attendance link will be shared. So this is a Google form link will be shared in the chat, and you have to mark your attendance there only. So for every day, you have to select the day and then mark your attendance. Mahesh, how to refer? Okay. I'll tell you how to refer for the program. So what you have to do, you have to go to My Programs. So in My Programs, you will get all the program you have registered for. Okay. So let's go to Programs. So here in Program Catalog, yeah. So in Program Catalog, you will be able to see all the programs. Okay. Programs. Okay. So this is the JavaScript. So you have to enroll first. You have to enroll yourself, and down if you'll go. Okay, so here it is refer and earn. Okay, so you have to go here, and these are the invitation links for different programs. So we have HTML upcoming, machine learning, React, Node.js, JavaScript, Python for data science. So all these programs are there. So you just have to click on this link and share with your friends. That's it. That's all you have to do to refer this program. So anything else? Anything else? How much LU points will at the end of the session or start only we have to mark? Kranti, you can mark your attendance at the mid of the session. Okay, attendance link in the description. Yeah, attendance link is there in the description, and it will be shared in the chat as well. Okay, so I hope I have solved all your queries. Like how many hours per day? So this session will be 1 hour for 3 days. Okay, so your session is for 4th, 5th, and 6th of May, 6:30 to 7:30. The timings are this. Okay, same would be mentioned in your program catalog as well. So let's welcome your trainer. Okay. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Yes. So this is Saurav Gupta, who is also teach in our full stack program. So I hope you will like his teaching, and you will be able to understand whatever he is teaching. And yeah, so that's it. All the best. And yeah, we can start today's session actually.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vinay, can you share my screen, please? Okay. Thank you so much. Yep. Thank you. Okay, then. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all of you. And I welcome all of you to this day one of JavaScript Essential course. Okay, so I can see a lot of people here. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Ritesh, Prince, Utkars, Nikhil, Aarti, Syam, a lot of people. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening once again to all the new people joining and all the people who are from they're from last 20 minutes. So good evening, everyone, and welcome all of you to this day one of JavaScript Essentials. Okay, सर आप मत पढ़ाओ मैम पढ़ाओ पक्का यार टेंशन मत लो एकदम एकदम Okay, fine. Okay, then. Okay, guys. So, first question before we start anything, how many of you guys are actually excited for today's session? Tell me that, guys. Everyone, how many of you are excited for today's session? Because, see, guys, we are starting with JavaScript. We'll start from like the very basic. We'll understand what exactly JavaScript is, how it works, and then we'll move ahead and we'll also try to build some project out of it. So, how many of you are excited for today's and the next 2 days JavaScript session with me, guys? Everyone, hi Karthik, Gulla. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Okay, That's great. That's great. I can see a lot of excitement. Come on, guys, show me some excitement in the chat, everyone. Okay, that's great. That's great. I can see a lot of yeses here. That's amazing. That's amazing. So before we move ahead, I would like to introduce myself. So for everyone who knows me, that's amazing. For everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Saurabh Gupta, and I'm by profession a full stack web and application developer. And I also teach at Let's Upgrade, and I'll be your 3-day trainer for this JS Essentials. I have taken a lot of essentials on YouTube. You can go ahead and check them out for HTML, for React, for Flutter. And today I'm doing a JS Essential for you guys. Okay. So let's go and let's start with what exactly is JS, why it is made, what is the use of JS. Okay, and before that, one more thing. If you talk about any prerequisite for today's session or to learn JavaScript, I would just tell you one thing, that if you know any programming language, even a little bit, like if you know just variables, loops, and conditions, that is enough. We don't need anything more than that because we are starting from scratch. Okay, so if you know any basic logic of loops, conditions, and variables, that much is enough. Any programming language knowledge will do. No need to worry about it. And for all the starter people who don't know anything about programming, no issues. We are starting from scratch. Okay, so welcome to JS Essentials, guys, and let's remove this welcome to an essentials and let's actually try to understand what exactly is JavaScript. And before moving ahead, I would actually like to ask you, what is JavaScript, everyone? What is JavaScript according to you? For all the people who know anything, if you know anything about it, please let me know in the chat, guys. What is JavaScript according to you? What have you heard of it? What do you know about it? Can I see some answers, guys? Can I see some answers? Because I want to see what all the people are like, what all you guys know. Everyone, come on. What is JavaScript according to you? I want to see. Which project? Don't worry. I'm going to give you a poll at the end of the session. I'll give you 3 options. You select anything, and that is what we will build. Or you suggest me something. I'll try to build that. Okay. It's a programming language. Okay, cool. Saurabh Gupta, sir. Good evening. Yes, good evening, Savnesh. ECMAScript. JavaScript is logic in HTML and CSS. Correct. Behavior of web page. Yes, kind of correct. JS is a front end language. Yes, not bad. Client side language. It's a scripted language. Okay, scripting language, Anushka. Scripting language, programming language used in front end. Please, it's a dynamic programming language. Logical HTML and CSS. Language like HTML. Not like HTML. It is a lot different than HTML. Advanced level of HTML and CSS, kind of. Yes, I can see a lot of really good answers here, guys, and you guys know a lot of things here, and that's amazing. I'm really happy to see all these answers, that a lot of people are answering that it's a scripting language, it is a little advanced thing of HTML and CSS. So yes, all of you are actually kind of correct. It's a light programming language. Yeah, it's light, it's very easy. Front scripting language using client side, amazing. Okay, guys, so now I have seen a lot of answers and all of them are cool and correct, but let's try to understand what exactly JavaScript is and why it was made. Okay, so let's go, guys. So first of all, in basic terms, JavaScript is nothing but a programming language. That's it. JavaScript is nothing but a programming language. Now sometimes we also mention that it's a scripting language as well. So JavaScript is a programming slash scripting language. Now, when I say something is a programming language, that basically means it helps you write instructions that your computer can perform and give you some output. That's what basic programming language means, like C, C++, Java, you might have heard of them. So JavaScript is almost just like them. It's nothing but a programming slash scripting language which helps you to write program that your computer can execute and give you some kind of output. So it helps you to build program. That's what the simple understanding is. It's simply a programming language. But it's not a very simple language like C and C++. It is much more than that, and it is made for a greater cause. Okay, so let's today talk about what exactly JavaScript does and why it was made. Okay, so first thing, guys, it's simply a programming slash scripting language. That means it has all the basic concepts like variables, loops, just like all the other programming languages, loops, conditions, arrays, all that stuff. It has all that stuff. Few of them we're going to discuss as well today. Don't worry about them. So it's simply a programming language which has all the basic programming concepts. But JavaScript was actually not made for this. Because if I only need variables, loops, conditions, arrays, I also have other programming languages like C and C++, which also have these things. So what exactly, like why do we have JavaScript and why it was made. So now guys, let's go today and let's talk about something called as web, the browser. Now you know guys, on the browsers we display websites. Website is nothing but collection of web pages. And to create a web page, we normally need HTML and CSS, right? We know that, everyone. We know that HTML is something that we use to create the structure of the page and to create elements on the page. So the heading, the text, the images, all that things that you see are created using HTML. And then you use CSS to style them, right? Like let's say you create an image element and a table element, a box element or a text element. Now you need CSS to style them, to give them height, weight, size, color, all that stuff. Now see guys, we are not going to focus on HTML and CSS. So if you guys want to learn more about it, you can go ahead and watch previous essentials of HTML and CSS. We have understood it completely there, what exactly HTML and CSS is. But simply speaking, HTML is something that creates the web page for you and creates all the elements inside it, like images, text, audio, video, everything, right? CSS is something that styles the page, gives your elements height, weight, size, color, aligns it, arranges it, makes it look good. Now what is JavaScript? So JavaScript actually is a DOM manipulation language. This is what JavaScript actually is. It's a DOM manipulation language. Now, I can understand these two things. Manipulation language. That means it kind of, okay, it's going to manipulate something. But what exactly is this DOM? Now, let's go and let's understand this. And by this, we'll actually understand what is JavaScript. Okay, let's go, guys. Let's go. So for that, let me take a browser window first and let me open a simple Jamboard. Okay, like a simple whiteboard, something like that. Okay, very clean. And now let's also go ahead and let's talk a little about HTML. So now guys, you tell me, how do you create a HTML page? A simple HTML page. Like you simply go ahead, create a file and just give it an extension of .html or .htm. And then you write some code in it to create your elements. Right, everyone? So let's create a simple HTML page here like this. Let's say you have a HTML, okay, then slash HTML. That's how you end it. Don't worry, we're not going to use Notepad. It is just for example right now. Okay. And then inside your HTML, you have a head and then slash head, right? I hope everyone is understanding this. And then inside head, you have a title slash title, right? Like that. And then inside this, you can just have a title called web page, something like that. Wow. What's happening? Have I started insert somewhere? Maybe yes. Title. Okay. And then inside HTML only, you also have something called as body, right? I know everyone knows this, but it is very important to do it right now. And inside body, I can have anything. I can have anything. I can have an image tag. I can have a p tag, right? P slash p. I can have a div tag, right? Just like this, I can have my elements. Like I can also have a slash div. I'm ending that div. And inside this div, if I want, I can have an h1. So basically, I have created a very, very simple HTML page, which is basically having everything, the HTML tag, the head, the body, and inside body, I have an image tag, a paragraph tag, a simple div tag, and inside that div, I have a h1. Now, if I tell you or ask you to create a simple tree diagram for this, will it be easy? Yes, by reading HTML, we can actually very easily create a tree for this, right? Just like you can see that HTML is on top. Inside that we have head and body. Inside head we have title, and inside body we have image, p, div. So let's go ahead and let's create a simple tree diagram for this, guys. I'm not good at drawing, so I'm going to be creating a very simple diagram. So the first thing that you have on top is HTML. Inside HTML, you simply have a head, and then you also have a body, right? And inside head, you're having a title, and inside body, you're having image, a simple p tag, and you also have a div like this. And inside the div, you again have one h1. So if I create the tree diagram, it will look something like this. Your HTML is having head and body. Your head is having title. Your body is having an image, a p, and a div, and your div is having a h1. Right? That's how my tree diagram will look like. A very, very simple tree diagram will look like this for my HTML page. So if I create any HTML page, I can generate a tree for this, like I can generate a tree like this for that particular page. Now let's understand why we are creating this tree. So guys, whenever you create a HTML page, whenever you create a HTML page and when you write code inside it, and when you execute it on the browser reads the code on your page and internally generates a tree of that HTML code and then reads that tree and generates the output for you. Like you find you have a head, you have a body, inside body you have an image here, a title, inside this div you have this. All that generation is with the help of that tree that the browser has created. So the process is like this: you write HTML code, you execute it on the browser takes that thing and interprets into a tree and then reads that tree to render or generate the output for you. That's how the whole process goes. Is that clear? So basically, the tree that the browser generates, it is what you call as the DOM, or which stands for Document Object Model, where each and every element that you have created can be considered as an object. And this whole thing is nothing but your document, where each and every element can be considered as a object. That's how simple it is. This tree is what you call as the DOM tree or the DOM, the document object model. So DOM is nothing but the tree that the browser generates based on your HTML code to generate the output. Simple. That's what DOM is. Is it clear to everyone? Very simple. And now we also talked about that JavaScript is also considered as a DOM manipulation language. That means JavaScript is a DOM manipulator. That means JavaScript has the ability to manipulate this tree on the go. That means by using the JavaScript language, you can actually remove any element from the tree, add a new element into the tree, update any element on the tree, change the content of any element from the tree. You can literally change the whole HTML page without even going inside the HTML code dynamically by using JavaScript. You can manipulate the tree. So you write HTML code that generates a tree that generates the output. By using JavaScript, you can directly manipulate that tree and it will directly change the output. Without even changing the HTML code, your output will change. That's what JavaScript can do, dynamically manipulating this tree and hence changing the output. Is that clear, everyone? That's what is the JavaScript's actual behavior. And this is the reason, this is the exact thing for which JavaScript was created. But to write all this, you have to make JavaScript like a language. And just for that purpose, JavaScript also follows the basic structure of the programming. So it also has all the concepts like variables, loops, conditions, and arrays. But the main thing for the main reason why JavaScript was created was for this. Because at that time, programming languages were there. C was there, C++ was there, right? So why do we need one more programming language which has the exact same things? But no, JavaScript is much more than a programming language. It's a DOM manipulation language which also has all the basic concepts of programming, so that if you need them, you can add up to that. So that if you need a concept of variable somewhere, you need to store elements somewhere, you need to store your tree elements somewhere, you can use arrays. You need to generate 10 elements at one time, you can use loops. So it has all the basic programming constructs so that you can use them effectively. But it has all the features that can help you to manipulate the DOM on the go. Everyone, come on. I want to hear an answer. Are we cleared, guys? All set? What is DOM and what is JavaScript? So now if I go back to the definition, yes, JavaScript is a programming / scripting language which has all the basic concepts of a programming language, but it is also a DOM manipulation language. Okay? And when it was created, the only environment. Now, let's talk about one more thing, guys. Let's just talk about one more thing because it is very important and a lot of people don't understand this. So let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about this. Now, see, you might know this, that whenever you want to write a programming language or whenever you want to write a program in your PC, you need to download a compiler for that, right? You need to download an environment for that. For example, if you have ever done it, if you want to start writing C and executing C, you need to install C compiler. Or if you want to write C++ or execute C++. If you want to write and execute Java, you need JDK, right? We install the environments in our PC so that we can write those programming languages and we can execute them. So for those, we install environment in my PC. But for JavaScript, we don't have to install any environment, because by default, the running environment or the environment where JavaScript can execute is nothing but the browser. Browser is the by default running environment of JavaScript, because it was initially created for that only. It was only created for browser. That's why JavaScript only works with HTML pages, and it only works inside the browser. Is that clear? And it also takes your browser's memory or your PC's memory, because it is running inside the browser. It always takes your PC's memory to execute everything. And that's why it is also considered as a client-side scripting language, a language that actually uses. So if someone has created some site and launched it online, and when you load that site in your PC, the JavaScript of that site actually uses your machine's CPU to run and execute. That's why it is also considered as what? A client side language, because it uses the client machine's power and memory and all that stuff to execute itself. Think of it like this. Let's say I create a website using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I want that website to be live. So I launch that website on a server so that everyone else can access it and use it. Now, let's say you go ahead and you just write in your browser www.saurabh.com. You load that whole site. Now, that site might be using some JavaScript. So that JavaScript that site is using is going to take your PCs. If you have loaded my site, it's going to take your PC's memory to execute. You know, right? Execution of program requires memory, requires CPU. So it's going to take your PC's memory and CPU to execute itself. That's why it is also considered as a client-side language. But not anymore. Not anymore. Because in 2009, now guys, I'm giving you some extra knowledge here, so please focus now. I required knowledge, not extra knowledge, but yeah. So in 2009, a person named Ryan Dahl thought, now I don't know if this was the exact thing he thought, but let's talk about it. So he thought that if JavaScript has all the abilities of a programming language, fine, it is doing DOM manipulation, that's amazing. Guys, see, JavaScript is one of a kind. Why? Because it is the only language that performs DOM manipulation. There is no competition for it. That's why JavaScript is surviving so much in this world, because there is no competition for it in terms of DOM manipulation. Okay, no other language can perform DOM manipulation. That's why JavaScript is one of a kind. But now, in 2009, a person named Ryan Dahl thought, if JavaScript has all the basic programming constructs, why not, like, we make JavaScript a general purpose programming language? But the only problem was it was only executable inside the browser. So what he did is he created an environment, or he created a new environment for JavaScript that you can install in your PC and then run JavaScript anywhere. By default, the running environment is what? The browser, right? But he created an environment outside the browser where you can write and run JavaScript. And hence, now in today's date, you can also use JavaScript outside the browser without depending on HTML. And that environment that he created, you might have definitely heard of it, is called as Node.js. So in 2009, Ryan Dahl created Node.js, which is nothing but an environment of JavaScript, just like C compiler, just like JDK, Node.js. You can install it in your PC and then you can run or write JavaScript anywhere. So that's what Node.js is. It's simply a running environment of JavaScript. Cleared? Cool? Simple. See, I can see people telling me, sir, I don't want history. See, guys, there is one important thing. I'm not telling you any history here. What I'm telling you is the exact use of JavaScript, so that in future, if someone asks you, what is JavaScript? Your answer should not be, sir, it's simply a behavior of HTML and CSS, or it's simply a dynamic language. No, you should be able to give good, correct, and meaningful answer, right? That's why this whole explanation is there. Otherwise, we can directly start with program, but no, this all is very important. You should actually know what JavaScript is. That's where people get confused. They think of it like a programming language. They use it for DOM manipulation, and someday Node.js comes and they get confused. Now, what is this new thing? That's why understanding all this is very, very important, so that at any point of time you should know which kind of JavaScript are you using. Are you using it for normal programming? Are you using it for outside the browser? Are you using it inside the browser? What are you doing exactly? Okay, so that's it, guys. That's what JS is. And we are not focusing on Node.js in this course, guys, because in some days, maybe in few weeks, I'm also going to have a Node.js essential. So we'll be like coming on YouTube and taking one more Node.js essentials in future. But as of now, our main focus is going to be this. Let's use JavaScript as a DOM manipulation language and let's see what we can achieve. Is that clear, everyone? Let's see what we can achieve. Now, I would also like to give you a few examples of JS actually. What is possible using JS so that you can see live. Sir, I thought Node is a framework up to now. Okay, I hope it is cleared now. Sai, it's not a framework. It's simply a running environment of JavaScript. Or you can also call it a JavaScript runtime. So guys, let me show you a few examples of JavaScript. Okay, now those things are possible with JavaScript. Okay, now see this image slider here, guys. See this simple image slider. When I click on this button, see the image moves. How is this possible? This is JavaScript manipulating the DOM, moving one image from here to here. When I just go on this, see, a box appears. This box was not there. That means right now, somewhere my tree is having all these elements. But when I move on this box, on this more icon, this box appears all of a sudden. That means someone added this box into the tree. That's why I can see it in the output. Who is doing it? JavaScript, right? Everything. See, when I click on here, it moves. Who is doing this? JavaScript. So all the high class animations that you see, all the movements, all the addition of elements, you might have also seen pop-ups, right? You're visiting some site, doing something, and in 10 seconds, suddenly a pop-up comes. Please log in to continue. Might have seen, right, everyone? Now that pop-up was not there. You were working perfectly, and suddenly that pop-up is added into the tree, and that's why you can see the output. Who is doing that? JavaScript. So all the eye-end animations, all the pop-ups, all of that. Or really, you can't do that with CSS, Paul? It's possible, but the understanding is that these things can be done using JavaScript as well. Because by using CSS, not everything is possible, right? I hope, Paul, you are understanding that when I click moving this image, it's quite a mess using CSS, or it's almost impossible. It's better to create these things using JavaScript, right? So don't worry. I'm not denying anything. What I'm saying is, what are the things possible using JS? I know what are the things possible using CSS. I have done a lot of things. Don't worry about that, Paul. Okay, cool, guys, everyone. Perfect. So let's go and let's start. Everyone, should we, guys? Understood everything? Are we ready to start, everyone? Okay, that's great. That's really cool. That's really cool. Fine then. Let's move ahead. Okay, I'll save this for you guys. So I don't think this is any like required, but I'll save this. I'll share it with you if you only want this. Okay, cool. Now, guys, I'll also like to tell you the softwares that I'm going to use. So the first thing that we'll need is the browser, as we are doing browser dependent JavaScript. So yep, any browser. Don't use. Okay, fine. I'm not going to say to like anything. Just use any browser. Mozilla is fine. Chrome is fine. Chrome is suggested by me because it is one of the best browser right now. So Google Chrome or any browser. And for editor, I want you guys to use VS Code. If you don't have it, you can just go ahead and search for VS Code download. But again, I'm not forcing it onto you. You can use Sublime Text, you can use brackets, you can use Notepad++, you can use Atom, anything. Just don't use Notepad. That's all. Just don't use Notepad. That's it. Just go ahead, guys. For all the people who are new, VS Code download. Click on this first link and just download VS Code for your particular PC, whether it is Windows, if it is Linux, so if it is Ubuntu, and if it is Mac. So download any version from here depending on your PC. Like for example, mine is 64-bit Windows, so I'll just download this one. And once you download, installation is very, very simple. Just double click, next, next, next. Agree to everything. Initial VS Code will be good for you. Don't worry about any options as of now. Just do it, and that's it. If you have, amazing. If you don't have, you can get it from here. Okay, cool then. Let's go and let's start with the actual stuff. So now, once you have it, just go ahead and open it. And I might already have some code here. Let me remove all that stuff. Let me just get a new window for you. So to show you how it will look like when you first open it for the first time. So here we go. A simple plain VS Code. So for the first time, if you open it, it will look like this. For all the new people again, close it. And now let's go ahead and let's create a new folder here in which we'll store all our files. And on the last day, this folder will be shared to you. Okay, cool. So new folder, and let me call it JS-ESS. JS-ESS. That is JS Essentials. Okay, and let's open this folder inside VS Code so that we can easily access it and create files and all that stuff. So file, open folder on my desktop, and JS-ESS, and here we go. Now we have opened that folder in our VS Code, and now we can easily go ahead and create files, folders, any assets, anything, and we can start running it. Okay. So IntelliJ is good. Yes, that's also fine. You can definitely use that. But I think IntelliJ is more better for Java development than JavaScript. But yeah, it's good. I know. I have used it a lot. Yeah, it's amazing. I know that. But I think it's a little heavy, right? Maybe. Okay, guys. All settled. Now what we can do is, now we have opened the folder. Let's go ahead and let's create a simple HTML file first. Because as I said, we are gonna be learning JavaScript that is based in the browser. So we always need a HTML file with it, mostly. So let's go and let's first create, because see, we are going to be learning DOM manipulation. And to learn DOM manipulation, first we need the DOM. And DOM is generated via HTML. That's why we also need our HTML page. So let's go. Index.html. Any name you can give. So the screen is not clear. Okay. Guys, can you just confirm me once if my screen is clear? Because I'm also watching it on YouTube. I can find it clear, but everyone, please, I'll zoom it a bit for you if you guys want. Okay, guys, can you confirm me once? And one more thing, guys, if it is not clear, just try to check your internet connection once. So just try to increase the video quality. Sometimes YouTube does that, right? It decreases the video quality. So increase the video quality and see once if it is working. Okay. Okay. So I have created a simple HTML page. Okay, and let's also generate the basic HTML like this. Here we go. I'm assuming that you guys know HTML and CSS basics. If you guys don't know, you can go ahead and watch our HTML and CSS essentials. Okay. Screen not clear. Guys, please just try improving the video quality. YouTube does that sometimes because of the internet connection. Can you just do that, everyone? Please just see if that happens. Just go ahead and change the video quality. Okay. Now, as of now, we don't need these meta tags. So let's remove them. Okay. And here we go, a basic HTML boilerplate. Okay, very simple, very clean. And in the title, let's write JS Essentials DOM Manipulation. Because guys, in this 3-day course, we are going to be focusing more on DOM manipulation rather than the programming part. So I'm assuming you guys know a little bit of programming concepts like variables and conditions. So we'll be focusing more on DOM manipulation because we only have 3 days, and I want to show you something, how to create something out of it. Okay. Increase the font size. I think this is the maximum I can do. If I go bigger than this, then it will be very hard for me to code. See, I think this much is fine, everyone. Okay, sir, how do you get that HTML stuff directly? I'll tell you. If you're in VS Code, just write this exclamation. That's all. Just write this exclamation and enter. Or you can also write HTML and you'll get this option of HTML5. For these basic things, you don't need any extension. These things are already in VS Code. So either write HTML, you'll get this option of HTML5, or just shift and put exclamation. That's all. Exclamation, right? Exclamation. Yes, it's very tough to pronounce. That's it. Here we go. And as of now, see guys, I have also closed this. So you can close it like this by moving it here. Close it like this. Okay. And then remove the meta tags. And here we go. The basic. And don't forget to save any changes, guys. So let's write JS basics DOM manipulation. Okay. Save it now. And now let's execute it. Now, guys, see. If you guys want, you can go ahead and start using live server. But for today's session, I'm not going to be using live server. I'll run it in the authentic, normal way. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go in this file, right click on the file and just do this. copy path. Click on that. Go in any of your favorite browser. So in this case, I'm using Chrome, and just go ahead and paste that path there, and that's it. Here we go. A simple, good-looking white page. To confirm if it is our page only, okay, let me close the sidebar first. Just go ahead and write JavaScript DOM manipulation basics, something like that. Save it and just go in your browser again and refresh the page. And here we go. You can see that, right, everyone? Simple. I'm doing a lot of spelling mistakes today. I don't know why. Manipulation. Okay, cool. Now then, our aim is not to learn HTML or CSS here. Our aim is to learn JavaScript. So now let's see how JavaScript works on the browser and what is the correct technique to start writing it. Okay. So now, guys, the first way and one of the best ways of writing JavaScript is in your HTML page only, in the body, at the end, go ahead and create a script tag. Just like you write style tag to write styling, right? You go in your head and you write style tag, right, guys? Internal styling. And then you can write your styling part here. Just like that, in the body, at the end of all the elements. So all HTML elements will go here. Okay, in here, inside the script, you can go ahead, and now here is your area for JavaScript. Now here, you can go ahead and start writing JavaScript. Now, guys, always try to put it at the end only. Why? I'll tell you. Now, you might see a lot of people on internet putting this script inside the head. That's not a good or standard way. I'll tell you why. Because see, our aim of using JavaScript here is to perform DOM manipulation. And you don't want to write any DOM manipulation code before loading the DOM. So if you write script on top, your script will load first and then your HTML will load. And that is something we don't want. We are intending to manipulate HTML. So we want the HTML to load first. And that's why you should always, always, always in the body, at the end, after all your HTML, you should put your script tag. Very, very important, guys. Okay, it's a good standard that you should always follow. If someone tells you to put it in head, they are wrong. Don't follow them. Inside head, it also works, but then you have to do some extra settings for that. And why to do that? Just put it at the end. That's all. Okay, guys, everyone. Now then, let me show you the first thing. Or before doing anything here, let me also teach you one more thing. So inside your browser, guys, inside your browser, because as of now, we're not directly going to jump onto DOM manipulation. We still need to learn few basics first. So for that, in your browser page, just go ahead, right click and click the option of inspect. Okay. It will open this area for you, which we call as the developer area or the developer tools. Okay. You know this element section. If you're from HTML and CSS, you might be already knowing this area, the elements area, where you can see your HTML tree, the DOM tree, and your CSS part, right? CSS and all the basic breakpoints or media queries, all that stuff you can see here. But right now, we're not dealing in that. What we're going to talk about today is this A thing, which is called as console. Now, this is your, think of it like your browser's command prompt. This area is nothing but your browser's command prompt, and the language of this command prompt is JavaScript. Understand, guys, the language of the browser is JavaScript. So the language of this command prompt is JavaScript. Now, why do we need this area? Extra stuff. Now, see, guys, you know, when you learn a language, the first thing that you learn is how to print something, right? How to print something or how to log something. That's what first thing you learn. You go in C, you learn printf first. You go in C++, you learn cout. You go in Java, you learn system.out.println. Just like that, you're also going to use JavaScript to print few things, right? A lot of times. Sometimes you want to print some data to see. Sometimes you want to print some array to see what's going on in there. Now, JavaScript is not like your normal programming language. Okay, its job is to perform DOM manipulation, and it also has an HTML page with it. So let's say you have a beautifully made HTML page here, and you want to print something to check what's going on in that variable or what's going on with that data. You're not going to print it on your HTML page, right? It will not look good. If you have made a good HTML page here with good design and all that stuff, you're not going to print something on the page and make it look bad. So you need another area where you can actually do some printing things, debugging things, checking what's going on and all that stuff. So here is your area, console. You can print things here. You can log your messages and all that stuff here. Plus, if you ever make any error in your JS code, that error will be displayed here as well. Second thing, this console also helps you to give hints about your JavaScript code. So this console is very, very, very helpful. Okay, printing purpose, error, debugging, and also hinting. It gives a lot of helpful things. Okay, because we don't want to disturb our HTML page, right? Fine, then let's go guys and let's see how to print something here. Very simple. Now you simply have an inbuilt object called as console, which actually helps you to deal with this console area. So as the name suggests, console is the name of the object, and this object has a function called as log. This is the function that actually prints on the console. Inside that, you can pass anything, like let's say hello. So let's pass a simple string, hello everyone. Save it and just go ahead and refresh your page. And here we go, guys. You can see that we simply have a hello everyone on my console. Very simple. Now, you might have noticed one thing for all the new people who are learning JS for the first time. You might be noticing that I am not putting any kind of semicolon here. But if you go in C and C++, there it's mandatory to put. So again, in JavaScript, a semicolon is not mandatory. If you want, you can put it. JavaScript allows it. But if you don't want, you can also ignore it. But it will be a good practice if you put it. Why? Because JavaScript is not the only language that you're going to do in your life, right? So let's follow a standard way that you can follow in every language. So yeah, put a semicolon. Always try to put a. But again, if you miss it, don't worry. There will be no error for that. So save it and see it still works. Now then, let's simply see how do we create a simple variable in JavaScript. Very, very simple. Okay. So it's simply created like this. So there is a keyword called as let. Okay. Here we don't have data types. Like C and C++, we have int, boolean, string, all that stuff. Here we don't have it. JavaScript is a loosely typed language. It doesn't force you to create types. So you simply have a keyword called as let, and then you can create any variable with any name. So let me name it, let's say num, something like that. And equals to, you can pass any value like 23. Very simple. Okay. And then to print a variable, you just have to go here and just pass num. Don't pass your variable in double quotes, guys. Okay, don't pass your variable in double quotes. Otherwise, it will be printed as a string. Okay, so yep, that's how it goes, guys. That's how it simply works. So now I have a variable called as num. The value of that is 23, and then I'm printing it. Let's see if it is actually getting printed. Here we go, 23. It's like that. If I want, I can also do let name equals and store a string here. Let's upgrade like that. And then I can also print that name, or I can have two console.logs. Why not? Console.log. Don't worry, guys. Only for 5 minutes we are learning these basics. After that, I'll show you a lot of cool things. Don't worry. The whole cool logic is awaiting in some time. Save it, and here we go. See that, guys? So that's how you simply create a variable, and that's how you simply print something on the console. But we can use quotes if it is a string, right? Yes, Paul, you have to use a quote. If you're printing a string, you definitely have to use a quote. But if it's a variable which is holding a string, then no need. No need. But now, what if you want to do this? You want to print string and variable together. You want to print string and variable together. In that case, what will you do? Very simple, just like every language has a way of printing string and variables together by the concatenation of joining. You can also do that here. So let's say I want to print the name is let's upgrade. So what can I do? So that the name is basic string. So let me write the name is, but here we have variable. And you cannot directly put your variable and string like this. And if I put my variable inside double quotes, then it becomes a normal string. It's not considered as a variable. So then what can I do? Because it's showing me an error that you cannot do something like this. So don't worry, guys. In JavaScript, you have a concatenation operator which easily helps you to join variables and strings together, which is nothing but plus. That's all. The name is name. Save it, and here we go. The name is let's upgrade the value of the variable. Simple. But There is one more way of doing it, and much more better way actually. There is something called as string templating as well that you can do here, right? Something like this. See, console.log, and then you can use backticks. Now, where can you find backticks? In your keyboard, before the one key, you have this backtick. You see that tilde symbol there? Just above your tab, just below the escape in most of the keyboards, and just before your one. See this backtick. JavaScript also allows you to write string using backticks like this. And then you can also write the name is, but here it actually allows you to write variables inside, but through a different way. You have to do this dollar curly braces, and then you can write your variable. So you can avoid that plus, but yeah, this is what you have to do. That's what you can do, guys. You'll see the same output. The name is let's upgrade. Simple. So you can also do this. You can also do this. In this way, you're avoiding plus. There is one more good thing about it is this also helps you when you're writing multiple lines of string. If you're writing multiple lines of string using double quotes, then it's a lot of problematic because you have to open, close, open, close, open, close, double quotes. If you're using backticks to write multiple lines, it's not a problem at all. You can open, write multiple lines, and close. That's how simple it is. So you can actually start using backticks if you want. No one is stopping you. Because writing multiple lines of string using double quotes is a mess. You have to add plus everywhere. You have to open, close, double quotes everywhere. But if you're writing it using this, no need to worry. Refresh the page when writing the new code just necessary. Yes, if you're not using any server that is automatically handling this, then yeah, you have to refresh it. Now, a lot of people use live server and some other stuff that automatically refreshes the page based on the changes. But if you're not using this, then yeah, definitely. Var is also there. Yes, var is also there. I'm not using var because now that is going out of specification. So I'm just thinking like, let's not use var. But I'll use it sometime and also tell you the difference between var and let. But you guys can actually stop using var. It's totally fine. Because in 2015, let was introduced, and now JS documentation wants you to start using let. And people are switching to let. That's why I'm directly writing let here. So I have a question. What is the use of document.write? Very good question. Document.write is used to write something directly on the page, on the main web page. I personally don't use it because if you use document.write, whatever is on your web page, that complete thing will be overwritten with what you're writing using document.write. That's one issue. That's why if you only need to print something, use the console, not the document.write, because document.write will override the whole thing. Is it cleared? That's why we're not using document.write. Sir, JS2 is external. That's correct way to use. Sir, JS2 is external. Yeah, you can also use external JS. I'll tell you how to do that. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry at all. Difference between var, let, or const, I'll tell you. Don't worry, because for that we also need to learn few more things. So I'll tell you what is the difference between var, let, and const. But guys, from now on, for creating your variables, start using let. But yeah, let me tell you const before moving on to what do you say, var. Okay. So now, guys, you also have one more keyword called as const. Okay. And const basically stands for constant. That means once you define a value like 23, like this, now you cannot change it. Just like any other language, you have const in C as well. So const is basically means constant. That means once you define a value, you cannot change it. That means now in future, I can change the value of num, but I cannot change the value of num1 because it is constant now. So const and let. Let for normal variables, const for constants or constant variables, whatever you'd like to call it. Is it cleared, everyone? Guys? So let and const. Var is now old. It's almost deprecated. So you can stop using it, but I'll still tell you the difference. Don't worry. But yeah, this is the difference between let and const. Let for normal variables, const for constants. And I can see a lot of people asking. I saw one question. Let me just check it once. How about using string literals there? Where? Okay, I think I missed some question somewhere. Okay, not an issue. I can see a lot of people are answering questions in answering people in the chat. That's really amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for that thing. Okay, so everyone, are we cool with the basics, guys? And from now on, whenever you want to print or generate a string, start using backticks. Much more better way of doing it. But again, you have two options. Depending on your personal preference, you can do anything. Okay, but this is much more better when writing multiple lines. This is cool if you're writing a single line. That's it. Okay, good enough. Now then, guys, let's go ahead and let's talk a little about DOM manipulation. Should we declare instead of const when we coding countdown timer? Should we, what should we declare instead of const when coding? It depends, Chaitali. As I said, whatever you create using const is going to be constant. That means now you cannot change the value of num. Sorry, num1. Like, see, if I try to do that, num1 equals to 45. Okay, let's see if it is changing. Let me just check it once. Or is it giving any error? See, assignment to a constant variable, it gives me an error. That means you cannot change it. So that's up to us. If I'm creating a variable that I want to change, I will never make it const. So if you're coding a timer and if you are creating a variable that you think in future is going to change, the value is going to change, don't make it const. It will not allow it to change. Is it clear? Cool. Perfect. Okay then, amazing. Let's move ahead now, guys. Let me just comment all this. For all the people who don't know how to comment, just select everything and just press control slash. That's it. Everything will be commented. And if you want to uncomment, just select everything again and again press control slash uncommented. So control slash to comment. Now, guys, the next thing I want to talk about is a little related to do manipulation. So just like console is an inbuilt object in JavaScript that helps you to work on the console. Now, if you're performing DOM manipulation, you want to work on this area because the DOM tree's output is here and you want to manipulate that to do animations, to do some changes, to make your page look cool and good, right? So now JavaScript also provides you with an inbuilt object which directly helps you to access this area. And this area is something called as document. This area is what you call as document. This white area, this web page, this actual web page is what you call as the document. Or more specifically, that DOM tree that we created. Remember that, guys? That DOM tree is actually your document. That document directly gives you access to the tree. Let me show you how. Let's console.log the inbuilt document object that JS provides. Now let's see what it is giving us. Save it, refresh, and see, guys, when I hover on this, see the whole page gets selected. See that? That means it's correct. And coding wise, it is giving you the whole tree. See that? HTML, doc type, your head, your body. See all the stuff, your comment, your script. It is giving you everything. It is giving you the whole tree. Understood? So your document object directly gives you the access to the whole tree. And that's what we need, right? Because we are learning DOM manipulation. And to perform DOM manipulation, we know that we need to update the tree, right? DOM manipulation means manipulating the tree. And to manipulate the tree, first we should know how to get that tree. And to get that tree, guys, we simply have the document object. Is that clear, everyone? This is the object that we're going to use to access the tree and change anything on the spot. So today's session, guys, is almost like we are done with the timing. But moving ahead, I would just like to show you one thing so that you guys come tomorrow and see what cool things we're going to do. Okay, so let's do one thing, guys. Let's say that this text is inside a h1 like this. So basically in my tree, there is a h1 element and this text is a part of that. Okay, like this. Here we go. See that, everyone? Now, let me show you. How can I change that content without changing it here by using JavaScript? How can I change this content without doing any changes here by using JavaScript? So let me show you guys. So now first thing that you need is document. This object gives you the tree. Now inside that tree, I need to work on the H1. Understand, guys? Please try to understand. So whenever you want to work on any element, document object gives you the tree, and now inside that tree, you want to work on some element, either an H1 or a P or a div or anything. So you need to tell document that give me that element. I want to work on that. So to get that element, so I want to work on this H1. So for that, This document object gives you an inbuilt function called as query selector. And you tell this query selector, please select the h1 element for me. Now to show you that, let me also log this. What this document.query selector h1 is giving you. Let me show you that. Save it, and here we go, guys. See now. See that, guys? It gives you the HTML. It gives you the access to that HTML element, h1 element directly. So that's how you simply get any element that you want to work with. So document object gives the whole tree, and from that tree I said that please select the h1 because I want to work on that. So for that, dot query selector h1. And now if I want to change this text, after getting the element, guys, after getting the element, you simply have a property available called as inner text. That basically means nothing but the internal text of any element. So this is the h1 element that I got, and this is the internal text of that element. And by using this inner text property, I can actually do anything on this text. So let's do it. So from the document, from the tree, select the h1 and then change its inner text to equal to I have changed. Let's save this and see what's happening. Save it, and now see, guys, refresh and see. Here we're getting I have changed. Even though you see in your code, it's still JavaScript DOM manipulation basics. But dynamically, when the page loads, this JavaScript code runs and it selects that element, gets that element, and manipulates the content of it to I have changed. And that's why you see this. So now, guys, you have actually manipulated one simple element. Now, this was not really cool, I know that, but still it was basic. Now, tomorrow we'll do the cool stuff. When we actually fetch image elements, we perform events, all that stuff. So why not directly change it in H1? Shivam, see, as of now, it is an example. So I could have directly done that. But let's say in future, you display a message. Just giving you an example, Shivam. So you give a message. Name is important. Let's say you're filling a form and you give a message like this on the browser. Name is mandatory. Now a person comes and fills the name. And now you want to change that message to successful completion. So how will you change it? Right, Shivam? Then there is a need to change it dynamically. Now, if person is filling in the form, you cannot go in the HTML code and change it on the spot, right? You need to happen it automatically. That's why you have JavaScript. It will check it and do it automatically, right? So anything that is happening on the page, JavaScript is doing this. Is that cleared, Shivam? Because you cannot go and change HTML every time the user does something, right? So you need to have JavaScript backup that does everything for you automatically, dynamically, whatever you like to call it. Okay, so what if there are two h1 tags? In this case, it will only fetch the first one, but don't worry, tomorrow we have the whole session. We'll talk about how to work with multiple tags, how to fetch single tags, and how to work with all the elements. Don't worry, guys. Today I just showed you the example, that's all. This was just one thing that I wanted you guys to go with. Now tomorrow is the main thing. Tomorrow we'll talk about how to fetch elements using id. Tomorrow we'll see how to manipulate attributes, how to manipulate css, how to manipulate content, everything. And tomorrow I'll also give you a poll of which project you guys want to create. Okay, and you select anything and I'll create it on the third day of the session. Is that clear, guys? But for that, I want all of you 400 people to come tomorrow as well. So I'm hoping for it. Okay, so I hope you guys will also join tomorrow because today's time is done. So now I'll see all of you tomorrow exactly at 6:30. Okay, so few questions. I really hope, guys, that you guys enjoyed this session, learned something new, learned something cool, and we still have 2 days of coolness with us where we're going to do a lot of like amazing fun stuff. So I hope you guys will join in tomorrow as well, and please also tell your friends and everyone who want to learn JavaScript to join as well. Okay, so I really hope, guys, you enjoyed the session. Please let me know in the chat. And that's it for today. Thank you so much, guys. And one more thing, guys, see, in these 3 days we're only going to scratch the surface. So if you guys want to really learn more, and not only JavaScript, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, React, Angular, everything, by building 15 plus projects, 15 plus fun projects like Instagram and Netflix, and become a full stack developer, you can also go on LetsUpgrade.in and check our courses there, where I teach you how to become a full stack developer from scratch by starting with basic HTML, CSS, till the end when you have built around 15 plus projects with a lot of experience with you and ready to build anything. So if you guys want that, you can check out our courses on letsupgrade.in as well. Guys, till then, see you tomorrow exactly at 6:30. I hope to see all of you there. Thank you so much, guys. It was amazing having you. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Bye bye, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone. Have a great night.